Alright, so we're in the middle of a game of GP Florence between Augur and Scribble. Augur is on Mardu Prowess, and Scribble is on Fickle control. So it's going to be an aggro deck versus a control deck, which is probably, well, it'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, so it looks like we got two mulligans. Augur mulliganing because they only have one threat, and they're kind of land heavy. Scribble being kind of the opposite land light. Well, Scribble has a pretty solid hand. Augur less so.
Right, Augur has one land plus, are they going to bomb Centered Acolyte because they only have one land?
Imagine Centered Acolyte is kind of an important card in this matchup, since you kind of get around 1/4 removal.
I guess, but at the same time, do you have time to play it?
Yeah, maybe not. We know that Scribble does have Ico to kind of start to lock up the game, but...
Yeah, but Ico takes a turn.
Very true. We'll decide to... He only on 6 means that they can keep Centered Acolyte. Fortunately draw a second one instead of second land.
Yeah, and also they have all 3 colors in hand, and they can only get 2 colors off their fetch. And decide to fetch red-white, which makes sense. Black is more of a splash color than anything.
Yeah, fortunately, I think most of the lands make most colors. I guess I have 4 basics and a couple random non-black duels, but also fetches.
Yeah, well, there's the first creature dead, but there's people lightning number 2, and still no second land.
Yeah, so Scribble is actually out of removal, so they can't... Oh, well, there's another piece of removal.
Well, yeah.
But they will at some point need to take a passing turn.
They can just return Flurblitz.
Yeah, but that's still kind of a passing turn. So like if Augur hits the second land for the Centered Acolyte, then they might have a turn to make a couple 1/1s using it. Scribble refills their hand with Burning Heels and Victory or Flurblitz or whatnot.
Does Augur even have enough mana to do that?
That's not the land they wanted.
Oof. Yeah, that hurts. Well, there's removal number 3.
Yeah, Scribble drawing removal off the top. Coldlands and make me eat my words.
I think he just sealed Riftblade plus Burning Heels here.
Yeah, try and find the 4th land. Ico -3 seems really nasty in this matchup. Maybe there's some consideration to like bouncing the Flurblitz. I don't know how winning that is.
Well, you're definitely not losing.
Yeah, very true.
There's Spiraling Canyon.
So fortunately for Augur, this sealed victory doesn't actually hit that much, just 2 in-matchup counters.
Yeah.
So it's not getting additional value beyond the cantrip.
Oof. Man, just getting all the wrong colors. There's Center Acolyte ready to die.
Yeah, unfortunately for Augur, just not fast enough to deploy before Scribble gets all their activations up. Because now Ico +1 can bounce the Flurblitz if they draw land.
Rippling Curtain.
Lightnings on the top.
Yeah, but Rippling Curtain.
Oh yeah, Rippling Curtain's even nastier.
So how long do you think this game's going to continue for?
Hopefully not that long.
They're going to bounce Flurblitz instead of Pyromancer's Knack.
Yeah, valuing the 3 life over the 2 damage face.
Yeah,
doesn't really matter at this point.
Hey, Trinket's a charm with no lands in hand.
Yeah, okay, that's a nice and quick concession.
That must be super demoralizing for Augur there.
Yeah, well, fortunately for them, in Game 2 they will be on the play, which is pretty vital in a control matchup.
Look at the sideboard. Scribble has Guiding Light and Zakur, and Chaldrain's Rage, and Journey's End.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of good cards.
Meanwhile...
almost too many good cards.
Yeah, but maybe Scribble's they're worrying more against aggro because they're a control deck. Although, I mean, they already have a decent control... they already have a decent aggro matchup. Maybe not
we
good
saw
burn matchup,
main deck fair blitzes.
Yeah.
So maybe potentially overboarding. Of course, Zakar has other places as well. On the other side, we have Duress, Seal the Tomb as the 2 standouts. Do you even want to Seal the Tomb? Probably not.
What's Seal the Tomb even hit? Literally
That's
nothing.
A good question. Yeah, I guess everything Scribble has just goes to play, not to graveyard.
Yeah. I think Augur's still unfavored after boards.
Yeah, probably with how much Scribble gets to board in, with the Centered Acolytes being potentially scary, but then Chaldrain's to answer it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Augur will be able to side out some of the worst cards in the matchup with White Light and, I guess, Fire Burst. But certainly White Light seems abysmal here.
Yeah, just nothing to hit with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cantrip at least, but...
You still need a target for a cantrip.
Yeah, and fizzling. I guess fizzling isn't that big of a deal with how Scribble's interaction works out,
but anyways, game 2 has already started, and both players have already they're both keeping 6. Well, at least Augur
Yeah,
has more land heavy hand this time.
they're both players keeping 3 lands, 3 spells.
Yeah, but Scribble has
And
Flare Blitz.
yeah, but fortunately for Augur, that's the only thing they have. And that only comes down turn 3 on the draw. So the Centered Acolyte, provided Scribble doesn't draw anything off the top, will have a bit of time to pop off. Especially with this 2 dash and gate being 2 spellcasts.
I guess they just run out Center Acolyte. I was thinking if they would just hold back Center Acolyte in order to make sure you get spellcast off of it, but I guess that's way too slow.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You do kind of run into, I think Scribble's on some event drivers, is that right?
Scribble top deck Pyromancer's Knack.
Scribble's been really good at top decking these 2 mana kill spells.
Yeah. Can Augur even get back from this now? Do they have anything?
I mean, the Dash and Gate is kind of a draw too.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, so admittedly, this Flare Blitz is also kind of a draw too, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, so do you think Augur should have held Center Acolyte because they had through Ash Engage next turn with Center Acolyte, so they could have gotten 2 spellcasts guaranteed?
I guess they could, but it feels so bad because you really want to hit that turn 3 big attack. Because if you not attack with a Center Acolyte, you're only dealing 5 damage with the people, whereas even if you don't hit a spell, the Center Acolyte's still doing 3 damage. And you also just feel really silly walking into Event Horizon, or Journey's End, or Shell Drain's Rage.
Right.
Regardless. So, might as well use the mana when you have the chance.
Yeah, I guess. Well, so there goes Augur's other creature. Hey, another creature. Augur's going to not play out their land, but first, in order to turn off Crumbling Precipice.
Yeah, imagine that's for the Trinkets and Charms.
Right. Well, next turn, Augur has Center Acolyte plus possibly some other spell if they can draw anything.
Yeah, so Scribble, okay, didn't draw the kill spell this time.
Okay.
I suppose they have Imperial Silks to draw a card.
And they have Burning Heals.
So this, with a good draw off the top, this Flame Waker might be a little bit scary, maybe.
Yeah.
Though at the same time, Scribble seems massively ahead here with how much they're going to be drawing these next couple turns. Yeah, there's the 2 mana removal spell at the top.
And this one's actually instant speed too.
Yeah, so this will be able to hit Centered Acolyte, and just with how Centered Acolyte works, only triggering outside of main phases, Augur won't be able to get any triggers out of it.
Yeah. Actually, thoughts about keeping 3 Ash Engage in the graveyard instead of just flashbacking it right away to buff people for 1?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good point. So Augur has Master of 3 pass, and you really want that to be phasing out potentially to block removal, as well as Centered Acolyte's big payoffs.
Oh, they're tapping out of Event Horizon, so maybe Augur manages to top deck something and get a few Center Acolyte triggers.
Yeah, this is the place where if Augur had something to give haste, it'd be incredibly scary.
Oh, that's unfortunate. They can draw something off the clue, I guess. Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Exactly what Augur needed. Of course, I feel like... Wait, are they... Okay, good. They're not tapping incorrectly. Good. They didn't mess up their colors.
Yeah, this feels like a matchup where some, volcanic counters would be very appreciated by Augur. Just give haste and trample.
But it's not instant speed, so you can't trigger Centered Acolyte with it.
Yeah, that's very true. Just being able to punish decks that operate solely on sorcery speed seems nice.
Well, I mean, Augur has 2 draws to get a spell, and a lot of their spells are 1 mana, so yeah, they have 3 shots at getting a 1 mana spell next turn for Centered Acolyte.
Yeah, and Scribble doesn't... I mean, of course, Scribble's probably going to draw a whole bunch of single target move off the top, because that's what they've been doing the entire game.
Well, no, they're going to top deck Shell Drain's Rage now.
Yeah, that'd be even nastier.
Okay, that's 1 miss. That's 2 misses.
That's 2 misses.
Wait, that color screws Augur.
Yeah, that just shot off Augur's white sources. So, Scribble isn't really doing that healthy as far as late show goes. I mean,
yeah,
Augur does have a fair amount of mana and 2 clues. Definitely not out of it. And this Flame Waker, depending on what gets removed here by Scribble, the Flame Waker is kind of scary with the activated ability.
Yeah.
Kind of adding 2 damage with the burn spell off the top. And of course, the Centered Acolyte is just scary in general.
I think how this could have been prevented if Scribble just held up Event Horizon instead of playing out Burning Heals for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. Though at the same time, if they didn't play out the Burning Heals, they'd be bouncing with Flare Blitz here, and they'd be pretty happy about that.
Main phase Event Horizon. Well, yeah, I guess you don't want Augur to draw into instant speed spells in response.
Yeah, no reason to wait for the upkeep or whatever.
Scribble's not going to try to mask your Augur with Mirror Gate. I feel like that's a mistake.
Does Scribble have any manlands? Doesn't look like it. No fetchable manlands, at least.
Yeah, they have nothing to fetch off the Sunlit Highlands, so they should have just played Mirror Gate there and tried to lock Augur off white sources, because that means any top decks of Centered Acolyte become bad.
Though, I can't imagine Scribble's bats get a Centered Acolyte with how few resources Augur's operating on.
Well, if Augur practically in top deck a land, they can Trinkets and Charm. Wait, Trinkets and Charm is until end of turn. It's not until end of next turn. Wait, this card's bad. Why is Augur running it?
Oh, there's another white card.
Oof, tapping the wrong lands to crack the clue. Although I guess through Ashen Gates was a more hopeful top deck.
Yeah, though you already drew two. I mean, Forbidden Brew is kind of a nice top deck to Duress.
Yeah.
Probably ends up being pretty even.
Well, that is 4 damage though, so Scribble's pretty close to dead.
They do have these Imperial Silks.
Yeah, they also...
to gain 3 life.
They can also just bounce and replay Flare in one turn.
Though, I guess they will have to take 1 damage to do that with a Wayfarer Shrine.
You're gonna use it to gain life. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So
they have stuff to do with their mana next turn, which is just bouncing Flare and replaying it.
Well, those are 2 whiffs. And fortunately, this means for Augur that Mirrorgate probably isn't coming down this turn.
Yeah.
Since Scribble will want to replay the Flare. So this massive 3 pass will be able to come down.
Man, Scribble did not play Mirrorgate last turn, punished them really hard. Because now they don't have an opportunity to play it this turn.
God, why is Trinkets and Charms an instant? I'm thinking about like, oh yeah, you play Master 3 pass and then you Trinkets and Charms to protect it. But no, it doesn't. You don't really want to be casting those spells in the opponent's turn.
Maybe you flip into more instant speed stuff, I guess.
Yeah, if you flip in the burn spells, you're pretty happy. But
oh, there we go. Enraptured Countess.
Really good draw. No, there's only Storm Surge in Graveyard, huh?
Oh, huh. I mean, if you can discard Trinkets and Charms, wait, no. You literally can't cast it. Okay, maybe you just play out Enraptured Countess and just purely cast a tail without casting something from it, just to get Prowess triggers.
God, that feels so bad, though.
Well, it seems like Augur disagrees, so they're going to just attack with 1/1s. I guess they dump their hand now.
Oh, I think definitely just playing it then Enraptured Countess is probably wrong, because you're just kind of running into this Flare Blitz.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hold an Enraptured Countess, like 1-drop spell, gives you a lot of spell casts.
There's Flare Blitz number 2 and Burning Heals number 2 right after the first one ran out. And
Scribble will finally get a chance to Mirrorgate the Forgotten Step.
Maybe they forget to Mirrorgate and they're just going to play Sunlit Highlands tapped.
Admittedly, it's not. Mana splitting someone through Mirrorgate isn't like the most common thing.
It seems like Scribble doesn't know that they can mask through Augur right now.
Yeah, because if you think that these 2 Forgotten Steps are 2 different lands, then, I mean, Mirrorgating either one is pretty bad, and playing Sunlit Highland just to get that minuscule amount of thinning is more valuable.
I mean, Scribble can also Mirrorgate the Crumbling Precipice to mask through Augur off black mana, and that would have mattered here if... Well, actually, no, Scribble got 2 Mirrorgates this game, so they could have just play out both Mirrorgates to completely mask through Augur.
Yeah,
they had the time to.
Though I think the second Mirrorgate came off a time when playing it would not allow them play a Flare Blitz.
Yeah. Augur looking at Scribble's hand and probably thinking to themselves why Scribble didn't try to mask through them.
Yeah, maybe. So, this is kind of a sad game, where neither side is quite doing anything. I imagine Scribble's got to hit something juicy eventually off this Burning Heals.
I think that's probably... Oh, well, there's Flare Blitz number 3.
So, how does Augur get out of this? Can they get out of this?
They have to top deck the land so that they can discard the Trinkets and Charms, because otherwise the Trinkets and Charms is just looking really sad right now.
Yeah, but even with like using the Trinkets and Charms, they won't have any Prowess creatures in play by the end of this turn, since this Flare Blitz is probably hitting the people. I guess Master DPS probably sticks around.
Yeah, and you can use so you can put a counter on it, and then next turn you phase it out, I guess.
Well, you can't, because Trinket and Charms will not let you play cards during Scribble's turn. And I mean, Scribble is presumably going up to 10 here, depending on what they do with the Silks.
They're thinking.
Actually, they can even sack it immediately, too. So if they want to, they could go up to 13 between the Silk ETB sack and the Flare Blitz.
Yeah. They're going to gain life first, and then I guess they Flare Blitz, kill the pupil. Are they finally going to play a Mirrorgate?
I mean, they have to at this point, right?
Maybe they just hold lands in hand for some reason. Well, actually, no. Holy Mirror Gate did match a blanket duress for them, so, Scribble getting some rules clarification about what Mirror Gate does. And now Scribble realizes that Mirror Gate's better than they think it is.
Well, now I'm concerned they're going to name it Land Not in Play if they're asking whether it causes lands have to tap.
Are they going to name it Fetch Land? I mean, that's usually what people name with Mirror Gates when they're Mirror Gating blind.
Yeah. In this case, naming Crumbling Precipice will completely block black mana. Augur does have one other red-white land in Spiraling Canyon.
Wait, is that...
I guess Nebula works as well.
Wait, is Augur's mana really that fragile? Huh, I guess it is.
Mean, you generally don't need it. I guess Plains works well for white, but black seems more like a splash than anything.
Yeah.
Or they're just kind of playing some through bashing gates to increase their kind of power potential. Yeah, still no Shardstone Rift, which is not in play.
Well, still no lands for Trinkets and Charms. I wonder if after GP Augur reconsiders this card in the deck.
I would hope so. For this game alone, you shouldn't base your experiences on single games alone, but this is really sad.
Well, to be fair, is there any other options for 1 mana instant speed red quote unquote card draw?
Do you want me to check?
Hey, might as well, because this game's pretty much a foregone conclusion.
Let's see. Does it need to be 1 mana?
Yeah, probably. Or at least can be capped for 1 mana.
How do you feel about Righteous Valor? 1 mana for an instant, put a +1/+1 counter after 1 target creature, draw a card.
Yeah, it's probably better than Trinkets and Charms, honestly. Actually, no, because you need a target, so if your elf creature is on the board, then...
Up to 1.
Oh, wait. Huh. Yeah, well, that's probably better than Trinkets and Charms. And the +1/+1 counters do matter, because Master of 3 pass, it puts counters on itself.
Or another card from Seasons of War, Slave Stratagem, which makes something forced to block and gives it reach, and it draws the card as well.
Isn't that just worse than White Light for your purposes?
True,
yeah.
Is it better than Trinket and Charms is the question.
Probably. Wait, Arya might be able to draw out of this, because Scribble doesn't have any instant speed interaction.
Yeah, so drawing the third through the Ashen Gates is very nice, especially with this massive 3 pass in play.
Wait, Arya's not going to crack the clue now. What are they doing? There's nothing that they're holding up, right?
Maybe they're just representing something weird. Sword on board, I guess.
Does the sword board help them?
I guess they can have the clue and do it. I guess if there's no spells they're casting at velocity speed, they might as well wait.
No, they might get creature off the clue and then they can play it right away instead of waiting until next turn.
I guess that's true.
Well, on the bright side, at least Augur can flash back through Ashen Gates again on their opponent's turn to put another counter on Master of the 3 pass.
So, what point does Scribble just think about killing Augur here? With Ico, Flare Blitz, Bottle Lightning, all pointing face?
Well, I think Scribble isn't going to do that. They didn't even notice that Mirror Gate can master Augur, so I don't think they'll notice that they have pretty close to lethal right now. They're just going to deal with what's in front of them, which is the board in this case. And that's still going to win the game, probably.
Yeah, probably smart play just in general, with how low Augur's draw has been. So they will be able to crack 2 clues here between the Ashen Gate and Yard and the clue in play.
Yeah.
So they will be untapping 4 cards in hand.
Oh, there's Ico.
I guess Ico even hits the Pyromancer's neck.
Yeah, you get to whack something on the way out and whack something on the way in.
So deals attempts to kill the Master, which is forced to phase out.
No, they're going to Flare Blitz.
Also Flare Blitz gain some life.
How many burn spells does Augur run again?
They're on 8 main deck. Presumably they're all still in play.
So they're drawing...
all still on deck. Storm Surge 12, so 9.
Yeah, so they're drawing 3 cards at the end of this, right? So maybe they flip into enough burn spells to just go Scribble from 11 plus the Master.
Yeah, so the Master will put Scribble at 8. So a sword on board... I guess 2 sword on boards do it pretty cleanly.
And they also have Trinkets and Charms to draw even more cards.
Yeah, so they do actually have outs here, which is a bit surprising.
And People also helps?
Yeah, People does help. That's the 4th People this game. So now...
Wait, okay, good.
You're going to combat for the Massive Pass.
Didn't they Trinket and Charm before combat in case they flipped into Sorcery Speed Burn?
What are they... Are they deciding to...
Yeah, like Storm Surge, for example.
I think they only have that one Storm Surge in their deck, so it's just the Forbidden Brew that we're worried about.
Well, it feels like Augur's gonna top deck Forbidden Brew here and get punished for that. Although I guess, well, no, doing this will only get one extra counter on Master, but if they draw Forbidden Brew, then they're missing out on way more damage than just one damage from Master.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the numbers work out. That's not a spell, and that's...
Oh, they shouldn't have played out the land beforehand.
Yeah, they even went back and to play out the land.
Man, if Augur hit 2 burn spells off the second Trinkets and Charms, I think they had lethal right there, because Pupil is getting buffed by both Trinkets and Charms.
Yeah, so they'd have 7 damage attacking, and then Wee Mana. So yeah, any set of 2 burn spells would have done it.
Oof. Or actually even just through the Ashen Gates, because I guess you have your last one, but yeah.
Actually, does Scribble even have... I guess it does. It's kind of moot because I kill -3 and Flare Blitz, so it makes Scribble incredibly safe on the next turn.
Yeah, Augur had a chance of getting there if they played slightly better.
Yeah, I think this was probably the main turn that made the difference. And there's probably some slight things like Enraptured Countess not being able to tail, lost damage. I think was the main thing we noticed.
Yeah.
But even just hitting 2 burn spells off the top here is pretty unlikely. Sword on Board and Fiber, so the only 2 options. But I guess actually, Forbidden Brew is probably just a fine draw, just because it might finish Scribble off.
Yeah, Augur had a decent number of good draws there.
Yeah, so 10 draws, they need to draw 2 of them. Going quickly to a calculator. It's 36 buttons in deck, 10 successes, 2 draws, and they need to hit 2 of them. It's about 7%.
Yeah, so not bad.
Non-zero. I mean, that's definitely not a chance you want to be missing, but yeah, Scribble is still definitely the heavy favorite, especially considering that was just game 2.
Yeah.
And of course, Augur very much likes to be in the play in this matchup.
Well, and yeah, so that's the game.